Hello, Coppell HS Band. New members, this is Mr. Miller. Excited to have the opportunity to talk with you and take you through the new member meeting if you missed it or if you just like a review on everything. So here we go. The first thing we're going to talk through are just all of the activities that encompass the year, and so we'll jump right in. To start, we have Freshman Band Camp. This is starting, as I'm recording this, it's going to be next week. We have Freshman Camp with the Woodwinds and Brass, June the 6th through the 10th. We're going to start at 8 a.m. in the band hall each morning. Portions of the day will be outside, portions will be inside. As well, there's a varsity mini drumline camp, and that's June 6th through the 10th. There's a handout specifically from Mr. Shear in the percussion caption, and you can check with him if you have any questions about exactly what. There are different blocks of time based on what instrument your child is playing. The color guard camp is currently scheduled on the 13th through the 17th, though I know we're having some discussions about moving that around, and so we'll be in touch with those parents shortly, probably before the end of this week. And then early summer percussion camp runs June 13th through the 17th. Again, all of these events and all the calendars, everything I'm going to cover in this meeting can be found on our website. Continuing forward, what would you need to bring for camp? Well, you want to bring a large water jug, just the regular kind of, it doesn't need to be anything fancy. It's going to get beat up over the years, but just something that can contain enough water where you're not constantly having to run back and forth. And you can see a few of them pictured there. You'll want to bring sunscreen, sunglasses. We recommend white t-shirts just because it's warm outside and the white shirt kind of keeps everybody cool. Athletic shorts, we don't want, and any color's fine on the athletic shorts. We don't want heavy cargo shorts or things with lots of pockets, or, again, we want something that's fairly light and athletic. Ankle socks are recommended. Number one, it just helps with the marching technique to see everything we need to see. A nice sturdy pair of athletic shoes. We're going to be outside a lot, so it's important that they have that. Hats, and I really do recommend it. I know it's an optional item, but I think it's really good to keep the sun off our head. It'll keep us cooler. It's healthier for us long term. Music, and we'll be distributing music as they get to they're not going to show up with a lot of music to the freshman camp. A lot of it's going to be distributed each day that they're coming in. A pencil to write with, obviously. The instrument is important. And last but certainly not least, if they have a tuner metronome that they've been using since middle school, I think it's a good idea to bring it. If they don't have one, it's not a big deal. We can help out in that regard. But if you have it, go ahead and bring it. That'll take us through the early part and just kind of get started into the summer. We then transition over to the 4th of July parade. At the 4th of July parade, we have 2 days of practice. And again, those are morning practices, similar to the schedule for the freshman band camp. That's going to be 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., just a 4-hour block. And then that's going to be on the 1st and 2nd. Of course, the 3rd is a Sunday this year. And then July 4th falls on a Monday. And the parade is 8 to 11. The students will wear their white band shirt, which, again, those will be available during the freshman camp. We'll have some times when you can buy one of those. Some khaki shorts. I know that there's a variation in the color of khaki. You can see even in this picture that there's a fair amount of, but just have a pair of khaki shorts, a brown belt that works with, and again, their regular athletic shoes. The color guard's wearing red t-shirts, and we'll get more information to the color guard about exactly what everything needs to look like for that day. So the full band camp starts on Monday, August the 1st. Monday, August 1st in the state of Texas is UIL's mandatory start date, and so every program in the state of Texas starts that day. We'll be running from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I know it sounds like a long day, but in reality, this works great for your kid, and I think it's a good experience to help them build the strength they need to be ready for the season ahead. So we're basically doing what we would refer to as 3-a-days. So we have 8 to 12 as the morning block, and we'll be outside for that block. We'll do some stretch and run, some marching fundamentals, and begin learning the drill during that time. From 1:30 to 4, we have a 90-minute break for lunch, and then from 1:30 to 4, we're going to be inside during that time. We're going to do some small group sectionals. We'll do some large full ensemble rehearsals, and then we'll also have some meetings to talk through all the things the kids need to know going forward into the year. We then have another hour break where they can grab a snack. Some kids choose to eat more, some choose to eat a little bit less. And then from 5 to 8 p.m., we have another outdoor block. We're always sensitive about that 5 o'clock time. We may not shift outside immediately at 5 o'clock based on what the weather looks like and how bad the heat is. So sometimes we'll hold till 6 o'clock before we go outside. Again, we'll be very careful with them safety-wise and make sure that we're not putting them outside at a time when, I mean, once the temperature's too hot, it's difficult for learning to take place. So we know kind of what those numbers are after years of experience, and so just kind of we'll assess that. So that 5 to 8 block might be a little bit more modular each day. The students are welcome to leave during the breaks, though I'll say, especially for our freshmen, there will be a staff member on hand at all times. So I mean, personally, for me, I stay. So they're welcome to stay. We'll provide some places for them to hang out and eat, and plus, it's a good community building thing there. If you need to schedule appointments during that 2-week block, and certainly you're going to have orthodontist appointments, things of that nature, we totally understand that. We would prefer that they be scheduled during the middle block, so anytime between 12 and 5 p.m. should work just fine. Realize if it's really close to 12, they're going to be coming off the field. They're going to be kind of hot and kind of gross. So if it's just a quick appointment here or there to go run and do something, but if it's something a little bit longer form where they're going to have to be around people for too long, you might want to give them a little chance to go home and shower and freshen up and then go over to that. So if you could help us during those days, that would be greatly appreciated. And sorry, I wanted to mention too, and it's on our calendar, that schedule runs for a couple of weeks. That'll run for that first August 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we have the weekend, and then we'll run 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then as we go forward from there, it'll be a little bit, that third week, that week right before school starts, it'll move around just a little bit. The teachers have in-service, so we'll get more about that schedule as things become clearer for us as far as as instructors, what our in-service plan is. We have a welcome back concert and dinner on Friday, August the 19th. You'll get to see how much of the show we've learned at that point and a little bit of that. But in addition to that, we'll have a nice dinner. We're having, some food. I think we're doing food trucks for that. We'll have lots of other things. It's a great community event. We hope you come out, bring your family, bring your friends. Directly following that, the students will leave the performance, go home, grab a quick shower, what have you, come back up, and we're doing the band lock-in over that night. So they'll come back. Again, we'll give you a firm time, but right now, more than likely, 11 o'clock is about what we've done, and they'll stay through the night. We have different activities going on. There's movies, there's ping pong, there's just all kinds of great events. It's a wonderful bonding experience for the kids. They're in the school. They're well chaperoned, which, by the way, if you'd like to sign up to chaperone, this is an excellent event to get to know a bunch of the kids in the band program. So just wanted to make sure you were kind of keeping that on your calendar, as it's an event many of the kids look forward to. Once we move into football season, we're going to be in the 6A classification, as we have been for many years. That means 5 home games and 5 away games, and it's all on Friday nights, and it's through the last weekend, the last Friday in August, all the way through September and into October. Season tickets will be on sale in August. When you purchase your season tickets, you can ask for seats near to the band. It should be great to have lots of parents sitting by us to support us. Throughout the football games, we'll have specific itineraries for each one, but one of the services provided by the booster that I think is a great time-saving thing for parents, and just a really easy way to kind of operate, is that we'll do the meal deal. The meal deal is something that you purchase at the beginning of the year, and for a cost of approximately $6, maybe as much as $7 at the beginning of the year, you can do 11 meals for somewhere between $66 and $77, and we'll have meals delivered to school for your student after school. The bell rings. We'll go out to the field, we'll do a short run through, we'll come back inside, and after that, while they're changing, getting ready to go to the game, be it a home game or an away game, they'll have a meal delivered to them. They'll be able to select their preferences, as well as there are any dietary needs. We're happy to work around that and do what we need to do. But this is a great way to not have you on a Friday afternoon coming off of work or trying to get into the school when everything's crowded and there's cars everywhere and traffic and all that. It's, as a parent, trust me, well worth the $6 to just not have to worry about it and know that your kid's being well fed and well taken care of in between school and the start of the game. We do several marching contests. Most of these are already, actually all of these are already posted on the calendar. This is a UIL state marching year for us, so we'll be proceeding forward as planned with a state marching year, which usually means, and it does for this year, that from about the last Saturday in September through to the first Saturday in November, there's a marching contest going on. So it's going to be very busy. So just want to kind of prepare you for that and begin looking at the calendar, but a lot of those Saturdays get taken up by marching contests. Again, all that's posted on the calendar page of the website if you want to see which specific ones we're going to, especially as you're planning, like if family and friends are going to come visit, things of that. But know that that's kind of, if you're new to the marching band activity, if you've not been around it, if you're not real familiar with it, it's something you're going to want to be thinking about as we go forward. The competitions, again, and you can see that for us, the Friday nights are great. It's a chance to perform for our community. But in reality, the competitions are where we have silence, and you can hear everything in the show, and you can really see it amidst a group of other, high-quality performing ensembles. And it's an opportunity for our students to be rewarded for all the great work that they're doing. In addition to that, once we come out of the fall, things slow down. The marching band thing is tricky sometimes for freshmen because the first 12 weeks of school just seem very, very busy. But then after that, things slow down quite a bit. Not not to the easiest of paces, but it slows down quite a bit. And so we have things like all-region band and all-region orchestra auditions. Many of our students qualify into the all-state bands. All of our students perform at UIL region solo and ensemble contests. So there are all these opportunities that are coming up to continue to develop their musicianship over the course of the year. So it's not just about marching band, though I know coming in the door as freshmen, it does sometimes seem that way. We do perform at the Holiday Parade. The Holiday Parade is currently scheduled for December the 6th. It's at 6 p.m., and you can see some pictures from years past of what that looks like, but a great event, and make sure that you have that one on your calendar as well. We'll perform at several concerts throughout the year. There's a pre-UIL concert that we have at the high school, as well as a spring concert, and we're looking as we develop forward to even add a couple of more concerts here or there. Some opportunities for your kids to showcase what they're working on, and really impress you with their growth and their development musically. Let's talk through a few rules and regulations. The number one rule of the program is that you have to be on time, as probably evidenced by the meeting that if you came last night, you saw that we start things right on time, and we expect that of the students. They referred to it with Mr. Mason for many years as Mason time, and I love that term. The idea that if the rehearsal starts at 7, you can't be there at 7. You need to be there at 6:45. You need to allow yourself time to be set up and to be prepared. There's a student handbook. I would advise you to read it. I know that as I'm transitioning in, there are some changes we need to make to it, but for the most part, it gives you a really good idea of the full scope and sequence of the program. You need to make sure that you're showing up for all the events. If there's a problem, you need to email us, and I often use the term email early and often. Like, let us know very early what's going on. I know we have this conflict. If a cousin's getting married and you're in the wedding, those kind of things, like I want to know those things so that we can begin planning around. And I think that you'll find that I'm very patient with it. The ones that I'm maybe less than patient with as a director are the ones you find out 2 days before. Because maybe I can have a student plug in and substitute for your student. Maybe I can do those things, but I can't do that if you tell me 2 days before. It's a lose-lose for us as an organization. But if you tell me several weeks before, I can start preparing that other student to step into that role and make sure that we're ready. When in doubt, the section leaders, the student leaders who are in charge of your child section, they're great people to ask these questions of. So if you're not sure about a certain rule or a certain, reach out to them, and they'll be reaching out to you with their contact info and keep in touch with you. As a parent, and again, I'm both a director, but I also have a son who's a sophomore in high school. I think it's really important that we volunteer, and we provide a number of volunteer opportunities, and we need your help to run the organization the way that it needs to be. To keep our costs down, we have to kind of all kick in a little bit. And so we have the contract for concessions for every event at the stadium, be it not just football. I mean, I know that's like the high-profile one, but for soccer, for track, for all of those things, we're there. So there'll be plenty of opportunities over the course of the year for you to sign up for concessions. Please jump in, get to know some parents, devote a little bit of time to the school and to the organization, and I think it'll pay off well. We always need help with uniforms. If you're somebody who has experience in that area, you feel comfortable with it, they need to get dry cleaned, they need to get assembled back, it's organizational work, but it's very enjoyable. It's done during the day for the most part. So if you have some time and would like to do that, especially if you have some sewing expertise, that would be a great thing you could engage in. The meal deal, folks always need help. I talked about the meal deal earlier, but if you're somebody who's passionate about that, we're having meals delivered and you're getting to know kids, you're handing them food. It's a great community building experience to get to be with them. There's always continuing fundraising efforts going on. If you have ideas, if you have some things you'd like to talk to us about, there's some things we can do there. There's spirit wear and merchandising. I'm just going to kind of swing around the bottom. Spirit wear and merchandising, and through there, we're selling events selling at different events, selling spirit wear, stuff like that as well, design-wise. If you have some ideas and want to jump in, we're great on that one. And to keep working up, we have treasurers who are doing all the finance stuff. So if you have some experience there and would like to jump in, we have logistics. Those are the people who are moving all. And again, I don't mean to say it, but it's mostly dads who are help moving equipment on and off the field and kind of helping with props and those kind of things. It's a great way for dads to get involved in the program, as well as just helping move ice chests and making sure that just the kids have what they need to perform their very best. We have cooling stations throughout the summer band rehearsals and all those kind of things. So that gives you an opportunity to get to know some kids. They can come over to you, they refill their water jug. It just, again, helps you stay connected with the kids. And last but certainly not least, we always need chaperones, always need parents all the way. I mean, even into the spring, into all of those events, to have parents around to be with our kids. As directors, sometimes we have to pull out, we have to go into a meeting, we have to do something else as part of a contest, but knowing that our kids are well taken care of when we step away is crucial. As far as our contact information goes, you can see Becky Barnes would be your main contact. She's your freshman liaison for the year, and Chris and Jenny Kanoy are on there as our band booster presidents for the year. Those are great people to contact. Not saying that you can't contact me. You're welcome to email me anytime you want as well, or you can copy all three of us to try and help you get your questions answered. The student section leaders will be in touch as the year goes on. They haven't even been chosen at the time of making this video. Their interviews with me are coming up in a few days. So once those are chosen, you will also have an opportunity to ask them questions. From there, we encourage you to look at our website. We're in the process of a website rebuild, but it's still up and active, and it'll get clearer and clearer as the weeks go on. We also have, in addition to that, a Facebook page, a Twitter, and an Instagram that are all very up-to-date, very up-to-the-minute information. So certainly, you're on social media, find us there, and let us help you get all the information that you need in a timely manner. If you haven't already done so, we had a kiosk set up about registering for the band on Charms so that you can get all the information. As well, a weekly newsletter will be coming out with lots of information. So if for some reason you didn't get added, I'll make sure that I get that link sent out over our regular email in the next weeks. But just email me if you're not receiving them, and I'll get you added to the list immediately. So let's talk through the budget just a little bit. Looking at last year's figures, the general band fee, you see there, plus the pay-to-play fee, a pair of marching shoes and 2 pairs of gloves, as well as their band T-shirt. And again, this is last year's budget, but I think an estimate of $950 somewhere in there is about what the figures are to be in band. And I think as you look at programs around the state of Texas, I think you'll see that that's on the lower side for the highly competitive programs. When you look into optional fees, there's the meal deal we mentioned earlier, a garment bag for students to keep their uniform in, a duffel bag. Each student needs a duffel bag to and from games, things like that. We provide a uniform-looking one that kind of matches everything. So if we would prefer that you use that one, but certainly if you want to provide your own, you can. Letter jackets, and I know they're pricey, but as many of us remember from being in high school, a letter jacket is kind of something you hang on to forever, and we'll get information about that out to you as we're getting into uniform fittings. Your private lessons are the same they were in middle school. We're paying $23 a lesson, about $92 a month, and that's something that we should continue to budget for. This year, we'll be doing, last year the band was in London. This year we'll be doing a slightly smaller trip, and we'll kind of alternate between smaller trips and larger trips at this point. So looking at that, we don't have everything planned out yet as we're transitioning at this point, but once we do, we'll get it to you. I just put an approximate cost on there, somewhere between $500 and $700. The band Banquet, which is a great event, happened just about a week ago, is in May, and we'd love to see all of our students there and as many parents there who want to come. Lots of parents do choose to attend, and we're going to continue to build that event. Last but not least, many of our students perform at the UIL State Solo and Ensemble Contest. That is an additional accompanist fee. So you'll see that in the general band fee, we're covering their region round, but if they advance to state, which several hundred do, this is kind of an additional add-on from there. What does the general band fee cover, you might ask? We cover things like dry cleaning, covers the lock-in, covers contest entry fees for our students, covers their show T-shirts, all of the music arranging, drill design, prop stuff, all of those things that you're seeing. Any equipment repair, not necessarily instrument, but think about like larger logistic equipment repair that we have through the booster. Master classes where we bring in great teachers to work with our students in preparation for all region auditions, in preparation to work for state solo and ensemble. It covers busing for certain types of like contest optional events, things like that. It covers to make sure that they have drinks at contest games, competitions, all the water they need, all of those kind of things. And last, as I mentioned before, it covers their accompanist fee at the region solo and ensemble round, for which 100% of our students are participating in. What's not covered? What other things might you need? Solid white or black socks, long black socks, dress socks, socks that come up to the knee, socks that don't have any other color on them but white or black. At this point, we haven't made a final decision on the uniform. I think I could tell you I'm probably leaning toward the black one, but I'll give you more information. You'll have plenty of time. But again, just, go to Target, go to Costco, whatever, just find nice, tall, black socks. Gloves, and again, we'll take care of getting those sold out to you, but you'll need some gloves. Marching shoes, which I showed you earlier in that. As far as the khaki shorts go for the parade, I mentioned that earlier as well. We'll be switching over to compression gear this year, which will be a little bit different. It'll be a compression top and a compression bottom, so we'll need to do that. Your white band shirt, which we mentioned, you'll be able to pick up during freshman camp. Your water jug, those kind of things. I think that's all pretty standard stuff. And then the later in the school year ones were mentioned already, which are the band banquet and the state accompanist fee. There are a couple of options. You can do the full payment option where you come in, just this is my total, write a check and be done with it. Or you can do a payment plan. As far as the payment plan goes, you can set it up through just a credit card with charms, and we can show you how to do that. As well, in the band hall, on the wall when you're walking in from the back doors on the right-hand side is a large white drop box. You can just drop your check in there each month, but you can do a month-to-month payment. As I said, if you looked at last year's, and again, the number might change a little, you're looking at approximately $115 or so a month, starting and running from August all the way in, do 6 payments like that. I know that last night at the meeting, Chris and Jenny Kanoy addressed a little bit about how to pull into the lot, and just if I could share this with you from a parking and a pickup situation. We would prefer that you not stop right in front of the band hall to pick up your students. So you generally come into the lot, drive around, and it's easy to stop and park right there and let your child out. And just go, it's just a couple seconds, they're going to hop out. It's much easier to pull into one of those parking places that you see, just right there by the tree line to the right-hand side. Pull in by the tree line there and let them just park, let them get out, then back out and continue on, rather than blocking the road. It's very dangerous to block the road. There are 2 lanes of traffic there, so if you're parked in the right-hand lane, but somebody else is coming up on the left-hand lane, your child's getting out the left-hand side, you can see how this could be problematic. Same thing when you pick them up. Try and identify a spot in the parking lot, and again, there's ample parking out there at the end of the school day. Try and identify a spot in the parking lot that works for you to be able to pause and get to them. Again, thank you so very much for joining the program. I know that you're going to have a great time with us. If you have any questions after this presentation, please feel free to email me. Please feel free to email Becky Barnes, Chris and Jenny Kanoy, any of us to answer your questions. We look forward to seeing you all in just a few weeks. Thank you.